atui ki te marengo.
Mr. Speaker,
Tama wa atuatu.
No te katoa ki raro.
Please be seated.
The floor is open for debate. If there's no member to speak, then I'll put a motion.
Te kamata ko nei te tatatu uipa ngā paramani I te iaie. Tēnei te akatuera ia nei te ngotutupa ki te uatu te kānono I te tutua ki runga I te ture akatukia.
I see the Honourable Senator Brown, you have the floor.
Te ki tēnei au I te me mga te arataki o te tuakatantano Tina Brown.
Mr. Speaker, the explanation given by the Prime Minister, who's in charge of this bill,
Tama wa atotua te au tutua te akamarama ia mai te Prime Minister norunga I te ture akatukia.
clearly explains the benefit to the private sector and to the tax office.
Kua kāri mai te rera I te au tuku me taki ki te kātuku ki runga I te au piritiniti e pera katoa I te tua o te tero.
It gives the option to businesses who do not return more than 300,000 an option to file their returns quarterly.
E tika ngati no te au pitiniti rikiriki e kāre tāra tō muni rauka mai ne maata tu turu ane tawasini e kia kaitia mai tō rātou tuatou I te tuku atu anga tā rātou akapapaanga muni ki te tero I roto I te toru marama.
But if they choose to continue with their monthly returns, that's fine as well.
Me kai nā rātou e ke tamu aturai rātou I te akaki tā rātou muni te rauka mai I te au marama kātotoa. Te au marama tātaki tai karo kai rātou te rawi te.
But I think it really also helps our tax office.
I roto I tōku mana, kai riro te rere te tauturu I te ministeri o te tero.
Who, if the person files quarterly returns, will only deal with four returns instead of 12.
Me te meo kia tātuanga I a kōtinga ia ki te au kōta kātou tō kaiti mai rera tō rātou tukuanga I tā rātou akapapaanga e ātai me matai.
And this is a bill that the Democratic Party opposition supports.
E ko te ature tāmana ho te tuatune iau no mātou no te tuakatantano I te oronga I tā mātou tūru.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of the Opposition. I see the Honourable Teriki Heda, you have the floor.
Me te ki mata e te arataki o te tuakatantano Tina Brown o tā au tūturu I tēnei te ki tēnei au I te mema Teriki Heather no o te tau.
E te mata Mr. Speaker, tū mai o no te turu I te ture tāmana, si paina mai e te Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to give my support to this amendment bill that has been put forward by the Prime Minister. I just want to touch on the merits and principles of this bill.
Roto I te wērua no tō tātou iti tangata, me katika I te Prime Minister, te katika mai te mana, no runga I te tō tātou ronga rikiriki tika.
I may be corrected by His Honourable Prime Minister. I'm speaking in regards to small businesses.
Te ia, ke runga I te ronga, iti taiko e, taka maramaramanga, kei te Prime Minister.
And as was explained, thank you very much for those explanations.
Arai pāpui ako roto I te utu atu I tapakumuri, no te mea, roto I tā tātou tāmana konga te ture, no te tero I tō tātou iti tangata, oko nei ki te pēta mata.
But I don't know, because some of the things I'm not aware, but this is in regards to our people selling foodstuff or goods on the roadside.
No te mea kari tairi rātou tia tūranga turu ane tau sini te matai.
I don't believe that they have reached to the amount of 300,000 a year.
Ko ki tēnā tātou, ko korongona tātou, roto i tiri atu atu, the Ministry of MFM, i roto i te tāmanoko, i te kouta i te tero, ki tō tātou ichitanga, kimi rāwanga nei te pai te mata.
And I know that it has been through discussions by the Inland Revenue if a tax can be imposed to those selling goods on roadsides.
Tō kare pāpui a koe te Prime Minister, me te nore a te ture no tō tātou ichitanga, no runga te tūranga o te tuatou, akaratu nei tātou no te mātai te oko i te punga kuroto i te otoa, te kite katoa nei tātou, te mātai tō tātou ichitanga, takapini nei tō tātou e nua, te oko nei te pai te mata.
So I don't know whether that has eventuated in imposing some form of tax to our people, especially those people who are selling good stuff, foods on the side of the road.
Nuri te kite mene tātou roto i ti tuatou tika, after the COVID, te ngata roto i te umutuari, roto i te kimianga te rāwanga nō rātu, i te oranga, i te ora kātou toa, te o epetoma, pera katoa, te o maramu, tai wātu ki te opengo te mataiti.
I do believe that we have noticed during the time of COVID and during this time, our people are struggling to make means for them to earn some money.
Te kite nei tātou, hirunga i te o puai, o kone i te pai te matara, o teiri te tengo rumari matara i te puai, ko tapo mai rā te waito o te puai ki raro.
As we may be aware that the prices that they are selling the bags of chestnuts, it has increased to $15. However, the bags is going small.
Ariku te akape nei te turanga no te waito nga me kutano ai nei te kiraro e toko nga te a puai,
I
o te tuatu.
don't know whether there is a form of quantities that entitle people to sell at this amount.
Pera katoa te taimene no miti aro e ati uti, pene e freight tax te te runga i tā rātu i tuku mai nei ki rarotonga. Ti runga wake i te price tō rarotonga ni.
And even the chestnuts that we are receiving from the island of Vatiu, Mokemitiaro, they are selling a little bit higher than the prices here in Raro.
Pea te mana kua kamita ki te, a ka marere i tō tātu isi tangata e Mr. Speaker, ki roto i tia wairua, tā te mana kātou tō, e pai mai ki roto i tō tātou pāsire, ko ki te tātou tuatou, tō tia ua rākou, kua rau koe kimi rāwang, tuatou ko ngere tātou i tiri atura.
But we thank the Lord Almighty for the blessings that He has poured upon in our country in regards to the things that we have planted.
O te mea, ko ki te tātou, i te ua rākou e i, ari te anga mama. Ko ki te rea tātou, te maatanga i te aronga koe ine, kare no rātou ti ei, o kone rātou.
And we know and understand that our people are making means through chestnuts to get some form on income. And we also know that some of these people who are selling these chestnuts don't own the trees.
Pera katoa te ua rākou mi te taru, te kiki ai nei taru atoronga maruru i te tanu, te okone nei rā i te pai matara, te ua rākou haere, karu e rātou pū rākou mi te rira.
Chestnuts is not the only produce that has been sold on the market, but there are some taros, and I do believe some has been stolen from other people who have planted.
E kairu rā te no tātou, e te o mema pāramani ngāti te o te ngutuare i te akara, ki kite tātou roto i te tuatou te maruru, te kimi rāwanga tō tātou isi tangata, kare mi te mea kua puta o rātou, riro rā te tuatou, ngere no rātou i te kamaruru i rātou, i te kimianga te rāwanga no tō rātou ngutuare tātou kita.
But these are evidence showing us that our people are hardworking people and they're trying every means from their produce to sell so that they will get ahead of the needs they needed in life.
Pera katoa te rongo eko nū nei te pai matara, are ngere anga i te nū, i te ora kātou tu.
And I also noticed that a lot of people on the side of the road selling coconuts, and there was no time that I don't see them on the road.
Mana kua kamariri i te takamita ki a rātou, te taumaka tere uipanga, roto te tuatou, te nā tā te tua, roto te tuatou te ei, te taimai nei, tō te painu ki a tātou, roto i te ara, kairo te waine i te tārin, ki roto i tō tātou mito tāni, mito waine, roto i te tuatou.
So I would like to thank our people for having the strength and energy to do whatever means they can through their planting and selling their produce, not only from the island of Rarotonga, even from the outer islands.
Ure tako potanga Mr. Prime Minister ki runga te turanga me te waini te turanga no runga te kokotinganga I te pupinga te rau koe tō tātou ngaririk te pati nei mātou I roto I te tō te kia tipu I atu te no te tei tuato e ko ki te tātou turanga te pātire ko mita ki mai I tautu rea tō tātou I te tangata no rea te turu nei e te ture tāmana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Because I am talking about one of the suggestions that if people make a lot of money, then they should be taxed, and I believe that we should put that aside so that we can help our own people. And from me and my supporters, we strongly support this bill.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I think what's happening is happening in the Takitumu area. I see the Honourable Member. Tonu is my here.
Prime Minister.
I give my thank you, congratulations to the Prime Minister for the merits and principles that has been explained before this House. And I think this thought also applies to the Painu. So I therefore give my strong support to this bill.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I see the Honourable Member. Tiawatai Herman, you have the floor.
Metekmata e te mema tonui no ta auturu, tēnei te ki tēnei au I te mema waipai tautu waipeka tai Herman.
Mr. Speaker, Patineo, please, ki araweo taku maiden speech, and then turo to the bill.
Me te katika I to o ngā te ki oronga mai te tika anga nōku ki oronga tu I taku tutua mua taku tutua mata ki tato.
Te karanga nei te pe aka arawea no tātou I te rā no arauro e noa mai. Ko tū tara I taine e pa I e enu. Akina mai rā me ko ai. Tāne mai te e uri mai ki aitu enua. Aitu enua e uri mai ki tāne mai tai. Kapipiri ka ongi. E pe aka arawea ngā te no tātou katoto E te rā.
Greetings to you all, honorable members. You've listened to the PA that I've just recited.
Mr. Speaker, congratulations to your re-election and reappointment to Speaker of this Honourable House.
Thank you.
E tamawa atotoa kia ngā te kia komiti ki mai te atua I a koe ko koe iki a ko ia kirunga I te nā taonga I riro I wātotoa no tia ngutuai.
Rakatua kia koe te mema toko tae no pukopoko mai, re-election kirunga te Deputy Speaker of this House.
And I would like to congratulate you, my friend, Honourable Member Tinka Erikana, to be reappointed as the Deputy Speaker.
Your Excellency, the King's Representative, Sir Tom J. Masters, and Lady Masters, I wish you all the best representing His Royal Highness in our little paradise.
Te mono o te riki, Sir Tom Masters, tō aka perepere e tō ngutu are, I roto I tōku mana kono koe kia ka mete ki mai te atua I a kōrua e tō kōrua ngutu are.
Honourable Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers, and Members of Parliament in Government, kia ora ana koutou katoa.
Te arataki o tātou gaumani, te Prime Minister, Mark Brown, e parakatoa te tauturu Prime Minister, te ruru minita e te au aronga I turuturu I a koe.
Leader of the Democratic Party and your tag team.
Te arataki o te tuaka tantano e tō o turuturu.
Leader of the United Party and your elite team.
E te tuanga we te pupu o te tākota ianga o te katoto o te kuke areni e tō o pupu kia ora.
And the one and only my bro, the leader of the One Cook Islands Party. Kia ora ana koutou katoa e te rā.
Te arataki o te pati o tai o te kuke areni e koto katoa kia ora nei te aro mātou te.
not less the independent members in this house,
E te au me matatakitai o te roto i te ngutuari.
the clerk of the house, and all your staff who are doing a great job in keeping this place going. Kia ora ana koutou katoa.
Ki te tua e o te ngutuare e paragatua to o aronga anga no te mouanga e te tuturuanga i te anga i roto i te ngutuare kia ora ana koutou.
Tēnei te oronga nea o e tāku rewaro, aka me te kanki tōku tuanga ikianga i Waipaka, Waipai e taut.
I now give my greetings, my thank you to my constituency who have elected me into this House of Parliament from Waipaka, Waipai Tautu,
Pera katoa ki te tangata katoa o araura enu.
and all my people from the island of Waitutaki.
Te o tāmeni o te atua i roto i te wakonoanga evangelia tuke ma tā koutou e kāresia, kia ora.
Various ministers in different religions, churches on our island, greetings to you.
Ngāri ki toko a araura enua, ma tō koutou katoa, kia ora.
To the four chiefs of Waitutaki and your household, greetings to you all.
Ngā mea makontara o Waipaka, Waipai e taut, kia ora ana koutou katoa.
To all island council members from the villages of Waipaka, Waipai and Tautu, greetings to you too.
Te aotoanga tuke i roto tō tātou tōnga ikianga, te pai o te oere, te pai o te sports, te pai o te vainitini, e te vai e tūra ki ora ana koutou katoa te ara o te tū.
And all the various organizations in each village, with the island council, with the women's group, and all the sports groups of my constituency.
Taku core team tango. Te autara team tango e mea vene te Waipai tōtu e Waipaka.
And to my sweet team for supporting me, this is a beautiful sound to my people in Waipai.
Chairman Rere Mataiti, tō Oruru Komiti, Marurui, koutou te rere Marurui, te tuatou o te ikianga, pera katoa tō tātou o kumiti roto i ngā oere i Waipaka, Waipai e taut. Kia ora ana koutou katoa.
To my chairman, Rere Mataiti, and all your committee members and all our supporters from each village of Waipai, Waipaka and Tautu, greetings to you all.
Te ratu nei tāko reo ka mitaki e koutou katoa tō ko tae ke voa ke te tōku tōnga i kianga. Me amuri ki neko para, ko tā koutou reo ka maureroi, e te akanauru i tō koutou tae ke ruto tōku tōnga i kianga ke votu mai aku.
I would
Kia
also
ora
like,
ana koutou katoa.
I would like to say thank you to all those friends of mine who have supported me throughout the villages of Amuri to Nikopara and around the island, and those who are able to influence their friends to support me. Thank you to you all.
In other words, koutou katoa, roto tōku tōnga i kianga te i orongo mai, tō koutou irina kianga ki rungo i ako, ki a riru au, e me maparamani no tātou i te tuatau, kia ka me te ki te atu no koutou katoa.
Especially for all of my supporters that have put their trusts in me, that I can be a good representative for them in this house. Thank you to you all.
Te mea o te inua e te oruru kointara, e te tangata katoa me te tiroa, te tipoto o te inua, kia ora ana koutou katoa.
To our mayor of the island of Waitutaki, deputy mayor, and all individual island councillors, and across the island of Waitutaki, thank you to you all.
Mr. Speaker, I stand and address this honourable House with gratitude for what this place represents and what my obligations are.
E te tamawa atotua te tuatu nei au ki mua i te ngāti te anga o te ngutuare, e te akametaki, e te ngāti te no te au anga tā te ngutuare e rawene.
Not only for my constituency of Waipai, Waipaka and Tautu, but also a sense of duty for what I must do for the people of Araura Inua and the people of the Cook Islands.
Haere uki e wakatina mo ua te rera te tauturu ki tōku tuanga i ki anga mia Waipaka, Waipai e Tautu, inara no te katoanga o toko inua ko Araura.
I thank the people in the gallery and all those who are listening to this telecast. Kia ora ana koutou katoa.
Ere tu nei tā kua kamita ki anga ki te au tangata e mātakitaki mai nei I te ngai noanga o te kato tō rau. Pera katoa te tātou te iti tangata akarongo mai nei ki te uipang.
In every day, I hope to make you proud through working smart for our tomorrow.
Tōku irina ki anga ka rave maru iru I au I tā kuanga ma te tau te kai no tō tātou iti tangata.
I stand before you all at this very moment, truly honored and very humble to acknowledge two special people from my family who have served our country for years.
Te tuatu nei au, ma te ngāko wakaaka te aka ngāte te I koutou katotoa no te turu tā koutou I orongo mai, te aka mārakatoa nei au I te ta inga mitua, te iriru ana turu iaku I roto I tō horau.
Their portraits hang on a wall of this house.
Te ioki te ngā mitua, te tautau nei tō rātou tōra o tutu I roto I te ungutuare.
Mama mai a papa arapati ene re me roto mai te Ngāti Kamere o Araurenu.
Papa Arapati comes from the Ngāti Kamere of Waitutaki.
Few in history get to shape the destiny of a nation, and Papa Arapati certainly was one of them.
Ko te akatina mō te harataki anga I te kaweinga o tō tātou basire, ko riro te mitua tāne, ko ia te tai I akamata I te akatupu I te re.
Mr. Speaker, me roto mai te re ka ui meka ko tango te taita.
And I want to let this house know that from that bunch of banana comes myself, Tai Herman.
Mara mana mau o tātou kātou toa I te kite I tāna I rave.
We
I kite I tātou, e te no ne tātou kruto te ngutuare, tua o te kawamani, e te tua te akatamatamu.
We all know what he has done to this country and what he has done to this house, and we have the government and the opposition.
I ke te tātou te tangata kuki arani e, nā tātou rea tātou e ka tere, e nā tātou rea tātou kawamani I iki ma te tamana mā tākore.
I am very proud today because our people, we are responsible for supporting and making our government today.
And my uncle, Dr. Joseph Williams.
And I also remember my uncle, Dr. Joseph Williams.
These two pillars have done great contributions and have attained great achievements for our small nation.
Ko te anga amitua nei, kua rawe maruru I rawe I tā rawa anga ko rauka mai te tai au turanga mimitaki no tō tātou Basile.
Both served with distinction as honourable ministers and prime ministers and leaders of our country.
Kua riro rawa arataki matutu te ngāte te I roto I tō tātou Basile.
I ngā ruau te ako ki te kakā, ki te atua, no tāna harataki anga I rawa I tō rau tātou.
And now I give honor and praise and glory to God for his leading of these two mitua pamitua in our country.
Tō rawa I tō atau, mā tā rao rare metaki.
When they were leaders, they have established good works.
Te rā, this is my time.
And today,
This
it
is
my
Tango
time.
Herman's time.
Tango Herman's time.
And this is where my political journey starts.
E te akamata nei te kawinga noku I te aeri kone.
O mga 2 days ago, the journey, Mr. Speaker.
But I guess maybe it's a bit too late.
Mr. Speaker, I have served the people of Araurenu as mayor for 15 years. Yes, 15 years, and achieved a lot of good things. Can't remember of any bad ones.
Tama wa atotoa, kua tāwini anau I tōku inua ko Araura, e mei au me tangata tutara I te inua, no te taitenga o maari ma mataiti ko irina ke ue, kua katina mau au maato wa aturai te o nganga mitaki.
Henry Kissinger once said, "Don't be too ambitious. Do the most important thing you can think of, and your career will take care of itself."
Te karanga nei, te totua ki singa, auraka, manako o iako o rai, tapa pātura, Henry Kissinger.
Henry Kissinger.
Yeah.
One of my achievements was to initiate and establish Sunday flights into Atitaki.
O te tai toanga tāku I rawe I te akatupu, ko ioki ko te akamataanga o te rereanga pairere I te tanite.
Mr. Speaker, that was a bumpy ride. The hurdles were very high, and I nearly got hung for it.
Ai nā rau ki te tātou e, ngata I aku I te ere anga nāro te itia, o I te tarai e tāpaka I taku kaki.
Today, this service is positively contributing to the economy of Aitutaki, enjoyed by the people of Aitutaki and by the people of the Cook Islands.
Ina ki au e, ua tina mou te ia, e ko riro te ia rere anga o te pairere e tauturu I te tangata o Aitutaki e tauturu katoa I te Basiri o Cook Island.
It also contributes as a major transport link for our tourism industry.
E ko riro katoa te ia e apai I te au taeke e turu to mai nei to tātou pai I te pai o te turato.
Mr. Speaker, it takes special people with vision and courage to achieve that goal.
E te tamawa atotua. Ko te waronga ana ki ua e moe moe a me kare e oro mata rātou, karauka I rātou I te akatupu I te.
I bring to this House values of my own consistent with the founding principles of our country's vision statement.
E ka ina rau te apai mai, ka piti atu ki te reira, e te oroma, te kite ia e to tātou Basili.
These values stem from the teaching and molding of my grandfather John and my grandmother Nancy Herman.
E ko te tango o te akatumuanga I to tātou Basili ia, e nā kia ue mero to mai I te api anga a tōku metua tāne mia Papa John Herman e perakato tōna ka perepere.
They were hard and smart working people and at times ruled with iron fist.
Ngā tangata harataki maruiroi aia e ka karanga ue I te tai au taime roto I tāna harataki anga pakariro.
They made sure I understand and practice good work ethics. And I did, with my own flavor.
Ko riro tā rao api anga e tauturu I ako ke riro mai au, e harataki metaki e ko kite katoa au tere.
Mr. Speaker, I have not come here to make a career. I have come here to contribute and try and make better to what we have already.
E te tamawa atotua, ere mai au ki roto I te ngutu are, kare ki aka tete I atua au, I nā rau te ere mai I te tauturu, I te oronga atu I tāko karauka I te tauturu.
There are so many things we want to achieve in our terms, in our time in Parliament, especially in my time.
E mata ua atura e te o anga tātātou ka inaro I te akatupu, kia tupu te reira, e meitaki, e ka karanga tika au e roto tika I te tuatau.
Please bear with me for what I have to say.
Me ka tika akaronga mai, ariki mai I tāko katutu.
I note the speech from the throne mentioned that we committed ourselves to $130 million in debt to facilitate the needs of our people during the COVID pandemic.
Ina kia ue e te tuatau o te maki COVID, kua ka pou tātou me te tai anere e torungo uru milion tāra, no te tauturu angai tō tātou I tangata I roto tika I te reo tuatau manamanta.
I understand, Mr. Speaker, that government has a good plan in place to repay that debt.
Ina katoa ue e parani me te ki tāte kaumani I aka no te tutaki angai te reo kaio.
For the past 10 years or more, we enjoyed no cyclones during our cyclone seasons.
No te tai tere atu I te tainga uru mata iti, karero e uri ia I harapaki mai na kirunga I tātou.
Speaker, forecast is that El Niño is now starting to move towards the east from the west.
E te tamawa atu ki tāku I maramau, e te ere nei te tuanga uri ia me te itinga ki te opungu.
Me te opunga ki te iti.
Me te opunga ki te itinga.
Speaker, if this is so, coupled with growing effects of global warming, we will surely be expecting stronger cyclones with more devastating effects.
Me te mea ko te tūtei, ko te tāku I ki te mairi rai, ki te taui o te rewa, ka mata ki te tātou e a tupu mai te tai o uri ia kino atu e te maata.
We have seen the island of Fiji and those in the west of Fiji bear that brunt.
Ko kita katoa tātou I te tupu ki te enua ki te Pasire ki Viti e para katoa I tōna tua opunga.
Being accountable means we need to urgently recoup our reserves depleted during COVID pandemic.
I rawanga kia rauka I tātou te aka tere metaki I tō tātou Pasire ka nono I tātou kia ko mai te ate mamau anga I tātou I muri te tātou I muri ake o te maki COVID.
This, to me, overrides any non-essential and expensive projects that are now being considered, if there are any.
E karangawe ko te tai mea popinga te kia kamana ko tātou e me e au anga popinga kia turai te tai.
We can always revisit these projects in the future. For now, recouping our national reserve need to be taken seriously.
Karauka e tātou I te akara I te rira, nurunga I te rira, mana tāno te o tātou ki mua I nā rā, ko tākua I nā ori tuku atu ki mua I te ngutu are ki aka viviki tātou I te tutaki anga I te awa kaioa.
Mr. Speaker, we cannot depend on New Zealand to bail us out during our own disasters.
E te tamawa atotua kāre tātou E irina ki pū ua ki nutireni, ke tauturu I tātou I roto I te o tātou E karoko I tātou I te manamanta.
As we know today that New Zealand is getting battered up badly with its infrastructure, its roads, bridges and its airport, and it's costing New Zealand government millions and millions of dollars.
Ko kita katoa tātou I te o manamana tā, te tupu ki nutireni I te ngā tātou poto ua nei ki muri, I topo ki muri, te manamana tā o te uri ia e te kino te tupu ki runga I tōna o matara, e milioni o atura e te o tāra I a kapou I no te kamita ki anga I te rea.
I am all about trying to find ways to recoup our reserves.
O au te akara ni au, e te anono ni au, e te ke tātou ki akarakara I te aka maata mai, I te tuanga o te tauturu anga I tātou I te o tātou manamanta.
Ina kone nana e te speaker te akarongorongo atua rao I tātou e pati muri nei ki te kawaman. O te akaronga e tūmai nei 200 years o ngaputuru, raratonga e mangai.
Today, before this house and even yesterday, I have heard some of the speakers begging and asking for money to support the program in the celebration of the arrival of the gospel.
Ko tita voipae anga no to celebrate the 200 years o tōna arike anga te evangelia.
My constituency, Waipai, have just completed the celebration of the arrival of the gospel.
A kita mai to mātou chairman e te muni aroa oronga I te tauturuti a koroanga, it exceeds the cost o te ranganga te rawi.
I have been told that that the donations, the money that has been given in support of this program exceeds the expenditure.
Mr. Chairman, muni, we just came out of the COVID pandemic. Surely, tatatu pokotoro kua moro tona titi.
When we look back at the time we have just come through the COVID, I would say that the milk have dried up.
I don't
think that we should continue to milk this cow, or else we'll be kicked on the side.
I pledge my support to every initiative that will grow prosperity in our country, and most importantly, protecting the safety and welfare of East Parramatta.
Kai ina roa e te oronga atu I tāko turu, e te tai ua atu tāmana kuanga, e te tai ua atu anga no te tauturu, e te aka meitaki atu, kia meitaki e ka puapinga atu tātou I te tanga.
Mr. Speaker, before I conclude my speech, e naro e te oronga atu I tāku tribute to my friend, his family, his wife, my dear friend, the late Tin Ford of Tongarema.
Mr. Speaker, before I make my conclusion, I would like to honor my friend, Tini Ford from the island of Penrith.
I have heard of his passing, but I didn't want to believe it as there was no messages or phone calls.
I roto I tia tumate te ngano ku karero o ki aku aka kite anga mai te tai mai ki aku norunga I tōna taka ki atuanga.
Only 3 weeks ago, when I had the courage to ask my son and I was shocked with disbelief.
No te tai toru e patoma ke nei I tō kui, anga ki tāku tamaiti I rongo e au I te tuatua tūmatetanga.
Nā te atua koutou e tauturu mai,
And to the family of my friends, may God give you comfort.
that concludes my speech, Mr. Speaker, and I stand to support the bill that is in front of us. Thank you.
O te openga tēnā, o tāku tūtua ki mua I te ngutu are, e te oranga nei au I tāku turuanga ki runga I te ture tamana.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable, I see the Honourable Prime Minister. You have the floor.
Ki te atu nei au I te mema Prime Minister no o te tau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As there are no more speakers to this particular bill, let me thank the honourable members who stood to support this amendment.
Me te mea ture, kare aronga toi I anono I te totoa mai, I te aronga atu nei au I tāku aka me te ki anga ki te au taeke katoto te oronga mai tāku tōtua ki te ture tamana.
And also acknowledge the comments by the member for Muri Inua regarding what other support we can do, we can provide, particularly to our low-income earners.
E pera katoa te aka me te ki atu nei au I te mema no muri e nua mai, no te aka maara mai I tātou I roto I te ngutu are e a tātou tauturu karauka I te oronga atu, no te aronga tiriki e are matanda tātou muni e rauka mai.
Ki marama o ki tātou te whakatūkeanga o te ture no runga I te tero o te VAT.
And let me remind you that this bill is the amendment to the VAT.
E kere aku te tātou ture no runga I te tāko te income tax.
There is a different law in regards to the income that we receive.
Ko te tero o te income tax, a re aru I te mataiti o te tangata, e ka re aru I te turanga o te tangata, o te ture nei ka aru eia I te waeto o te muni ta au ka koi koe.
This tax does not concern about your age, how young you are and how old you are, but it is in regards to the amount of money that you receive in your pocket.
Te tuatou rira, me te koi nei koe e taingoru maari matau sini tāla I te mataiti, kare koe tūtaki I te tai tero no runga I te muni.
And today, if you are collecting 15,000 a year, you will not be paying tax.
Me te runga ke raa koe ta au muni e koe koe te taingoru maari matau sini tāla I te mataiti, kua kamata koe I te tūtaki ta au tero.
But if you are getting paid over 15,000, that's when you start to pay tax.
Te ki tenei tātou I te tangata te kimi lawenga nei I te tuatou. Te oko kei I te pēmatara.
We do see our people selling produce on the side of the road.
Te kimi lawenga nei.
They are trying their way, their means.
Me tā te memara I tai kumai te ronga hoko I. Te iti wara te pūau I. Karala o te muni e tau.
And as mentioned by the honourable member, that the bags of chestnut, the price have gone up, but the bags have gone down.
Nā tue ko iti mai te au pūau I, te aruru ara re te kātiriti me kai o ki tāu te
Even though the bags have gone small, but the bullet will sound.
Ko te te ture te Mr. Speaker, ko tai kua nao ta tātou tax review I te tuatou mua tika te COVID.
This is one of the texts that I have been mentioning about right before the beginning of the COVID.
Te mita ki ara tō tātou tūranga o te pāsarea kua kake tō tātou tūranga ki runga. Kai nāru ia I tau tuatou ora ki akarakara mita ki tātou te tero, te waito o te tero I runga tō tātou I titanga. E hakimi rāwinga tātou, aka pēa tātou aka taui I te tauturu, I te oranga o te tangata.
The economy for our country was so good, and it was fitting that during that time we need to reconsider our tax system.
O te tai tāmana koanga ko iau ki te akakakeanga I te waito o te muni tūtaki. E mua ke koe ka tūtaki a ka kiriti e te tero.
And it is during that time it was suggested that when there is increase until you reach a threshold for you to start paying tax.
Te ea ka ere mai ki mua I tō tātou mutuare, a te ngā rā ki mua. Te ture tāmana ko norunga i te income tax, te ronga te kuimuni nei i tō tātou paenu.
And there will be a tax that will be coming before this house, especially for our people working in the paenua.
Karangawe, this is one of the first steps that we are looking at to help our people.
Karangawe, ko te taka inga mua te tā tātou kārawe i te tauturanga i tō tātou istanga.
Ka karukura o geo, ki te aroa tātou ki tau pira, ka mara mātou i te tai o kāmana kong.
I will leave that later on until that bill comes before this house. Then I will give you the merits and principles of the act.
I te atiangarau, te me te ki neo te tātou me makato to, te turu i te pira mui e tātou. Thank you,
But
Mr.
at this
Speaker.
time, I would like to give my thank you to all members of the house for giving your support to this bill.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. I will now put the question.
Me te kimata e te Prime Minister, te inaorneo te tuku atu i reira i te tamanakoa.
The question is that the motion be agreed to.
Ko te aka keuanga e ki ariki, ko te tamanakoa e ki ariki e te aka keuanga.
Those in favour say aye.
Te ariki i te tutu e ai,
Those against say no.
te pato i tutu e kare.
The ayes have it.
Ko tika,
I call the clerk for the second reading of the bill.
te kapiki nei au i te tuoe ki a tatau mai i te ture tamana.
Short titled,
Upoko iti,
Value Added Tax Amendment Act 2023.
ture nui aka tūkeanga i te tero a kauta ruanga uru mātou.
Thank you, clerk.
I take e te tuoe,
Consideration of bills in detail.
te aka rongononga i te o manako o onu no te ture tamana.
Clause 1, title.
Ko te irawatai, ko te upoko,
Clause 2, commencement.
ko te irawarua no te akamataanga o te ture,
Clause 3, principal act amended.
ko te irawa toru, ko te aka tūkeanga o te ture nui, ko te
Clause
ture a
4,
kauta,
Clause 4, section 15, amended, returns.
ko te irawa a, ko te aka tūkeanga i te tuanga tainga uru marima, ko te tikaanga no te aka tukumeanga i te o akapapaanga.
Clause 5, section consequential amendment to principal act.
Irawarima ko te o irawa taanga te no te akapapaanga o te o aka tūkeanga pōpinga o te ture mitua.
The question is that clauses 1 to 5 stands part of the bill.
Ko te ikianga e ki ariki e te irawatai e te ua atu i te irawarima i tuanga no te ture aka tūkeanga.
Those in favour say aye.
Te ariki te tutu e ai,
Those against say no.
te pato i tutu e kare,
The ayes have it.
kua tika.
Schedule section consequential amendment to principal act.
Ko te aka tūkeanga te i te ture tāmanako o te ture mitua, te ture akauta.
The question is that schedule section consequential amendment to principal act stands part of the bill.
Ko te ikianga e ko te tuanga nei o te aka tūkeanga ki te ture mitua.
Those in favour say aye.
Te ariki tutu e ai,
Those against say no.
te pato i tutu e kare,
The ayes have it.
kua tika.
Long title.
Ko te irawaro,
An act to amend the Value Added Tax Act 1997 to allow registered persons with taxable supplies of $300,000 or less in the preceding 12 months or expected in the following 12 months to file quarterly returns rather than monthly returns.
te ture nui, te aka tūke i te ture nui tero akauta, mata i te iwanga o maitu, no te oronga i te tikaanga ki te au tangata i retita ia, no te opo apinga me te tai toru ane e tau tini me kore i raro ake i roto i te au marama e tainga o marua i mua ake nei. Me kore i te au marama e tainga o marua i muri mai kia tupu atu i tā rātou a papaanga tuta ki tero i roto i te au tātou e toru marama e kāre i te au marama tātaki tai.
The question is that the long title stands part of the bill.
Ko te ikianga e kia wairai i te upakoroa e i tuanga no te ture tāmana.
Those in favour say aye.
Te ariki i te tutu e ai,
Those against say no.
Te pātu I tutu e kāre.
The ayes have it.
Kua tika.
I'll call the Honourable Prime Minister to move for the third reading of the bill.
Te kāpiki nei au, tōna ngā te Prime Minister, kia aka keu mai, ki te tau ia te ture aka tūki anga no te toru o te taimi.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2023 be read for the third time.
E te wātoto, te tukotu nei au, I tamanako e kia te tau ia te ture tamanako aka tūki anga ture tero akauta ronga uru mātoru no te toru o te taimi.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. I call for a second to the motion.
Me taki mata e te Prime Minister, te teke atu nei au, te tangata no te turu anga I te aka keua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Te tū nei au no te turu I te aka keua.
Seconded by the Honourable Chinka Erikana.
O turu ia, e te tarua ia, e te mema ngati te Chinka Erika.
The question is that the motion be agreed to.
O te ikianga e ki ariki e te aka keua.
Those in favour say aye.
Te ariki I te tuatu e ai.
Those against say no.
Te pato I tuatu e kare.
The ayes have it.
Long title,
O te upoko roa.
an act to amend the Value Added Tax Act 1997
Ko te ture nui, te aka tuke I te ture nui tero akauta mata iti I wanga uru maitu.
to allow registered persons with taxable supplies of 300,000
No te oronga I te tikaanga ki te tangata I retita ia, no te oko apinga me te taitoro ane re tautini,
or less in the preceding 12 months,
me kore I raro ake I roto I te hau marama e tenga uru marua,
or expected in the following 12 months to file quarterly returns rather than monthly returns.
I mua ake nei, me kore I te hau marama e tenga uru marua I muri mai, kia tuku atu I tā rātua ka papa anga tutaki tero, I roto I te tuatau e toru marama e kāre I te hau marama tātaki tai.
Thank you, Clerk. Honourable members, that completes the first, second and third reading of the Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2023.
E te au mea mga te o te ngutu are, o tae tātu I rere ki te openga o te tatauanga I te ture tamana ko tero akauta, te tatauanga mua te rua o te tatauanga e te toru o te tatauanga.
I call upon the Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Mark Brown. You have the floor.
Te kāpika tu nei au I te Prime Minister Mark Brown no o te tau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Standing Order 47, I move that Parliament adjourn early today.
Kia tau ki te irawa anga uru maitu o te akatereteranga uipanga no te ngutu are, te aka keu ni au e kia ngaro I te uipa.
Before we move on to the next two bills, this will allow time for our members of the opposition to have consultative meetings with relative government agencies on aspects of the income tax bill and also the crimes bill.
I mua ke I roto I te tū nei, I oronga nei te tai tikanga ki te tū o te akatantano, kia kimea turatu te tai uraanga no te tai au tauturanga e te akamaramaanga norunga I ngā ture tamanako e manako e nei te apai mai ki mua I te ngutu are no te ture tero e peragato te piri angkopo patani mai.
The government side is happy to adjourn until 1 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kaumani, e kia ngaro I te uipanga I te taime e kia kamata ako apopo I te orata I te ia.
Honourable Prime Minister, I call the Honourable Chinka Erikana.
Tēnei, nā ro te kāpiki atu I te me mga te Chinka Erikana.
Actually, I was just going to stand up for an amendment to the motion, but just been settled by the move of the motion by the Honourable Prime Minister, because when he originally started just to adjourn, he didn't mention that it's to be adjourned to tomorrow at 1 p.m. So I was just concerned that he might adjourn it to next week. But he had proposed it in the amendment, in the motion towards the end there. It will be adjourned tomorrow at 1 p.m. We will reconvene tomorrow. So I hope you will send that clearly to everybody, especially our friends from the opposition. They might come next week.
Tō mai nei au E te turu i oronga tu te tei tu a marama ki tau ki ta te prime minister tu tu mai no runga i te akangaru i ngati akawanga i te uipanga e tai wa kia popo i toro tai te ia.
And also to save time, Mr. Speaker, I stand also to second the motion.
No te rera te tuatu nei au i te oronga tu i tāko turanga ki runga i te akakewa.
Thank you, Honourable Tinga Erikana, for the second the motion.
Me te ki mata no tā au turanga i te akakewa.
The question is that the motion be agreed to.
Ko te ikianga e ki ariki i te akakewa.
Those in favour say aye.
Ki ariki tutu e ai.
Those against say no.
Te pato i tutu e kare.
The ayes have it.
Kua tika.
May I remind again that I will adjourn Parliament until tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Nā rau te akamārātu i te ngutuare, e te akangaru ine i te uipaanga, e ka akamata ako o a te paraparau, rā tainga uru mātoru o apirira i te orata i te ia.
May I call a member to say as a prayer?
Me ka tika i te mema ki rau mai tu tātou puri.
Ka me te kia koe te mitua tapu no te rā, tā mātou i tomo ki roto e te mei ki te tuatou, kua ngaro i tā mātou ipa. Marire te o ki nea mātou ki te mutuare ki tau aru i a mātou i te wairu no, tia ki ngai te paruri i a mātou ka toto. Pera katoa apopo e te mitua tapu ki a kau ki mea koe i mātou ma te ora e te au, no te rawe ngai tā mātou anganga i roto nei tari parman. Tō mātou ko koro ngai te rā, nā au e rawe mai te akameta ki no mātou ka toto. I pure tu e mātou te a mea ka toto, nā rotara wai tātou mai ti mana ko Jesu, tēnei tātou atu. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Parliament is adjourned until tomorrow, the 13th at 1 p.m.
Te akangaru ine i te ngutuare Pāramani, e ka akamata ako apopo i te rā te o mātoru o apirira te orata i te ia.